Hey guys, Lex here with a bit of a different type of video this time around. This is something that's been on my mind for a while now, and I honestly feel like I'm going to go insane if I don't talk about it. By the way, real quick, you guys showed me a ton of love on my last build update video with the frankly overtuned trample toes and shield wall combo, but I just wanted to thank you all for that because it was really cool seeing your different perspectives and your different takes on the build, the different versions y'all came up with, and how you'd improve upon my version of the build, etc. So yeah, that was awesome. Thank you all for that. Appreciate you. Anyways, as you can tell from the title of this video, and if you've been watching my Path of Exile 2 build videos, you can probably tell what I'm going to go on about. But it's Herald of Ash, and yeah, it's not good. It really doesn't do anything. In fact, it's actually bugged. You can see in the tooltip here that it says it ignites mobs in a 1 meter radius, which is a really small AoE, by the way. But it actually doesn't even inflict the ignite's status ailment. It just causes some fire damage over time. Apparently this is similar to the way it worked in Path of Exile 1, though in that game, apparently it's good, and I gotta say it's actually quite useless in this one. I mean, okay, the damage number isn't that terrible. I could maybe see some niche uses in the endgame where your overkill damages actually a lot with whatever crazy build you're running. But even still, it feels like there are better options, mostly because the AoE is so trash. In the early game, while you're leveling up, you're pretty much relying on Bone Shatter for clearing crowds, and that Shockwave AoE will outrange Herald of Ash every time, and most endgame builds run so much AoE or AoE on attack that your button press skills, not Herald of Ash, are doing 100% of the heavy lifting because the AoEs are so big and their damage obliterates everything compared to Herald of Ash's tiny 1 meter radius. There's actually a good bit of discourse on Reddit and on the official Path of Exile forums about Herald of Ash where people have figured out that it's actually bugged, the AoE is trash, and the damage numbers are low mid at best. However, almost every time I would watch a fellow YouTube content creator making a warrior build video or a warrior leveling guide that a lot of people would watch, by the way, I would often see that they would include Herald of Ash and say that it is strong or incredible, then blatantly proceed to straight up avoid explaining in any way how it is strong, with absolutely zero footage supporting this claim, and it just makes you want to rip my hair out. I feel like I'm going crazy, or that I'm being gaslit into thinking this ability is good. Like, have any of you come across this? Like, the part that bothers me is that a lot of these content creators clearly didn't do any testing or even understand how the ability works in some cases, though I guess I can forgive not realizing that it doesn't ignite because, you know, it says it does in the tooltip, though again, like, how hard is it to notice that the ignite icon is missing from your enemy's health bar when they're afflicted with Herald of Ash? But anyways, I've just come across so many content creators that just say, hey, this ability is good, then read the in-game tooltip description of Herald of Ash, then don't expand on it in any way, or again, have any footage to back up this claim, to display how good it apparently is. Real quick, I don't think any of these guys are intentionally trying to trick you or scam you, or if they are, that's kind of weird. But I do think it shows a lack of testing and a priority on churning out half-baked build content to get it published more quickly instead of spending some time actually using these abilities and researching for what would ultimately make for a higher quality and more accurate guide. Like, I would question the attention to detail of some of these guys who are talking up this ability so much when it does damn near no damage in the early game and is literally bugged. That said, I don't think this renders their entire guide useless. I mean, a lot of these guys do touch upon some useful synergies and some strong abilities, but I mean, for the most part, this is all stuff that seems pretty obvious to any player with some reading comprehension. Hopefully this doesn't kill my channel too much, but I feel like some real examples are needed here, so I'm going to whip up some of these leveling guides that were kind of funny to me, again, with how they say you need to use this ability and talk it up so much, and then proceed to not explain why it's good or straight up not understand how the ability works. Anyways, let's take a look. So first up, we have Creative Gaming, and he actually says quite a few things I don't agree with here, and a few things that I do agree with, but let's just get to Herald of Ash, because that is the one ability that sticks out as being very strange to me as to why these people are, like, talking it up so much. So let's just go there.
Also, Herald of Ash, once activated, it's going to help us to explode enemies in a fiery inferno all across your screen and ignite them.
Whoa. So, Fiery Inferno all across your screen? Brother, it has a 1 meter radius. Like, what are you talking about? Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? And also, real quick, you notice that there's no accompanying footage or relevant footage displaying how Herald of Ash works or how good it is? It's weird to me. That's this one ability. He's been doing a good job thus far of showing relevant footage for how each other ability works, but when it comes to Herald of Ash, they just talk it up and there's nothing to show. In fact, here, look, what does he show here? He shows, it's just another leap slam. It's just that's it, and then he moves on. It's just another leap slam. No Herald of Ash effectiveness. Nothing's shown. It's so strange to me.
Then we have Herald of Ash. As soon as you're able to unlock Herald of Ash, you want to make sure you unlock it not only unlock it, but activate it by right clicking it. I went about 15 levels without activating this, and it cost me a lot of easy fights. I could have been breezing.
Cost you a lot of fights. How? Can you be more specific? I honestly, I cannot think of a single situation where I died in the early game and I thought, wow, if I had Herald of Ash equipped, that would have saved me. All right, just one more example in another video. I just want to go over this real quick. He talks about Herald of Ash in this video. Let's just see what he says.
At a time this way. We're also going to use Herald of Ash. This is going to give us overkill damage, which again is going to explode enemies. And we want Fire Mastery here just to one-up this.
All right, once again, I think he's under the impression that Herald of Ash does hit damage. It does no hit damage. There's an explosion animation, yes, but it just applies that crappy damage over time effect in a small 1 meter radius. It really is not that good. Fire Mastery to boost it up a bit, it just, there's no numbers, no specifics given. You remember my last video when I showed you like the insane damage of Magma Barrier, like when you scale it up per level, and I used that very gem he's talking about, removed it, and I lost 200k DPS. That's kind of the thing I expect when people are going over like support gems and things like this. And again, he does a better job of showing Herald of Ash going off here. Actually, you can see the animation of the explosions here, but again, it's just like it's the bone shatters and other abilities that are doing the work here. The explosion animation is all for show. There's like nothing else going on, man. So again, it's just so strange to pretend like it's doing work when you can't, when nobody is clearly confirmed that it's good or is doing any damage. It's wild to me. All right, next we have Cloudcast Magic Missile. And to be fair, I actually really like this guide, and I like his style of guide. I actually quite like this this video, but again, it's just the weirdness around Herald of Ash. So let's just talk about Herald of Ash. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Our first pick around level 11 when you first acquire a Spirit Gem should be Herald of Ash. Our endgame build actually doesn't use Herald of Ash, but for the leveling process, it's a great choice. The Overkill Splash will definitely help clean up your clear. Later.
Okay, no. See, yeah, no specifics given. And again, wait. Like, I like that he says he doesn't use in the end game because I think the ability is trash, so I agree with that. But I totally disagree that it's better while leveling or even good while leveling. Like, it's worse for leveling, dude. Think about it. During like your first playthrough of the game in Act 1, when you can choose your first aura, you're hitting for like 60 to 70 damage per swing with like a one-hander, and then maybe 100-ish damage with a two-hander. Okay, early game quick math. Let's say a mob has 1 health and the lowest it could be, and you hit it for your 60 damage with your one-hander or 100 damage with your two-hander around when you can get this gem. So that's 59 or 99 overkill damage respectively. What is 20% of 59? That's a little under 12 damage over 3 seconds. In a little tiny 1 meter AoE. So 12 damage over 3 seconds. That's 4 DPS. Guys, honestly, I would just choose Magma Barrier for your first aura. I mean, I might be biased because I have a ton of build videos on Magma Barrier, but honestly, when I'm leveling, it felt like the most effective thing. It felt really good utility-wise to be able to block, attacks from your front in the big dangerous situation and prime things for stuns while you're timing your Magma Barrier blocks, and then you get those big bone shatters off. That will save you more than 4 DPS in a 1 meter radius after you've killed something. Hell, I'd take even Scavenge Plating over this. Oh, and obviously, the numbers with the two-hander, it's like a little under 20-ish damage over 3 seconds. So 7 damage per second in a 1 meter radius. Yeah. All right, one more example here. I think this is Ponyhoff. I think that's how it's pronounced. Might catch some flack for this since this channel is pretty big, but I think this is one of the most offensive misguidances out of all of this. Let's just, I think this is the part where he goes over it, so let's just watch, see what he has to say.
Against enemies with low life. One hit them with an auto attack, then super execute them. This doesn't make sense yet until we kill the King of the Mist. Because after twonking that nerd down, we're getting one amazing spirit ability. And
amazing spirit ability. Okay, please tell me and please show me just how amazing this ability is. Please.
And that would be the Herald of Ash. It reads, while active, enemies use sufficiently overkill with attacks will cause an explosion, and that damage is based on the overkill damage. We auto-attack...
Okay, just reading the tooltip. Let's see if we get any more specific than that.
We auto-attack someone down to low life, then we overkill him super hard with a bone shatter.
Okay, and just real quick as an aside, I mean, just because a mob is at low life doesn't mean they are primed for stun, and Bone Shatter does most of its damage when something is primed for stun. So saying that Bone Shatter is going to hit like an absolute truck with Execute, it's going to do some more damage, but it's not going to do as much damage as if something was primed for stun and at low life. So that's a little bit of a, something that should be fleshed out there, but anyways, let's keep listening.
Shatter on the Execute super wombo combo damage, and cause an incredible ignite overkill burst. Now
Incredible. So like, wait, Overkill burst? Did you just say burst? There's no hit damage on Herald of Ash. It literally just applies a shitty damage over time. Like what burst are you referring to, you know? Maybe the animation, I guess. Also, real quick, do you notice how he's not showing any relevant footage for Herald of Ash once again, like the other creator? It's he's just fighting King of the Mist. There's no Overkill damage. There's no Herald of Ash being active on the screen here. No footage again, so nothing to support the claim here.
Herald of Ash, we can use magnified effect for more area of effect. Now this is because he has a 1 meter explosion radius and it goes up to 1.1 meter. Yeah, to have or not to have. Next target.
Oh, to have or not to have, it's 0.1 meters, dude. Like, brother, that gem, magnified effect, would literally be better on any other ability on your character. Seriously, just throw it on Bone Shatter. Execute ain't that good at it anyway, because they have to be below like 35% life for Execute to actually apply the bonus damage. So again, Bone Shatter is your main way to clear groups in the early game. Just make the AoE bigger on Bone Shatter. You'll love it way more, trust me.
On distance, throw Molten Blast, Bone Shatter. Molten Blast, Bone Shatter. It's such a fun gameplay loop, and we're
Molten Blast, Bone Shatter. That's totally legit. I would agree with that. Just priming things for stuns and just bone shattering them in crowds. Act 1, Act 2, that's mostly what you're going to be doing to clear groups. It's just Bone Shatter. I really like Bone Shatter, so that's fair, you know? And real quick, he is showing, you can see he's showing footage that's relevant to these abilities that he's talking about, so totally is legit.
You can just explode the whole thing with the Herald of Ash bonus banger on top, truly obliterating everyone in front of you.
Truly obliterate. Wait, so bonus banger on top. Bro, your Bone Shatter in all of these clips is doing the work here. The explosion from Herald of Ash, again, doesn't do any damage. It's literally all just Bone Shatter. You can see, look, Bone Shatter, boom. Herald of Ash applies and after the explosions happen, so again, Herald of Ash is doing nothing here. Look at that. Boom. No Herald of Ash. The explosion animation is nice, but it's not contributing to the killing of these mobs at all. Look. The burn is actually applied here. You can see that's what that orange glow is after Molten Blast, but the damage is so low, he just ends up mace striking them anyway. All right, listen, I'm trying my best not to be too accusatory, but come on, guys. Again, it's okay not to know how an ability works or how effective it is, but to pretend like you do and to try and convince people of its effectiveness when you have no idea of what you're selling, it just seems kind of scammy to me, right? It's like if you're a car salesman and you're tasked with selling a new model of a car, you just do like a one-time walk around the outside of it and you're like, got it. I can sell this to somebody without looking at the interior, without looking under the hood, without looking at the engine, without looking at the dash, without knowing any of the stats, etc. Maybe that's a shitty example, but again, why try to sell people on something when you yourself don't really have the knowledge on how a thing works? Like, that's the weirdest part to me, you know? It's okay to say like, hey, I'm using this ability, I think it's doing something, but I'm not really sure how good it is. I might switch it out, but I'm just trying it out for now, instead of pretending like it's incredible and amazing without actually knowing if it's good. Just falsely selling expertise. You know, my wife is from Trinidad, and there's a saying they have there for this type of behavior. They say, you're being wrong and you're strong. You're being strong in your wrongness. Anyways, guys, come on, don't misguide your audience. It's okay to say you aren't sure or fully understand or know a thing. I just can't help but cringe a little every time someone tries to sell Herald of Ash with literally zero justification. It's just so wild that more people don't pick up on this. I try my best to know the limits of my own knowledge, and I often question certain choices that I make, even within my own builds, but again, I always try to make that transparent to you guys. I'm sorry if I called out anybody that you guys really like watching, and I'm not saying that this means everything they make is trash, but it's very strange behavior to me to just pretend like you know how something works when you don't. And to be clear, this ability has been like this from release. There wasn't some recent update that rendered it useless, you know, it's always been this way, so these early video guides have been wrong from the start. Anyways, that's it for this one, guys. This is just something I wanted to vent about mostly. Hopefully you found this entertaining. And hey, tell me, am I wrong here? Like, is it effective? Like, maybe some of you have found a use for it, but from my testing, feels like a total waste of spirit. I think I read one account where someone was able to nuke a boss with Hammer of Gods, and the boss happened to have a weak mob next to it, so the burn damage that applied from Herald of Ash was actually significant. But this was literally one case I've read out of so many saying it's terrible or not working, and none of the guides I've watched mentioned this use of Herald of Ash anyway. It just strikes me as weird to so confidently present half-baked, barely tested, and uninformed opinions onto new players, you know? We should expect a higher standard of build guide from content creators in a game as complex as Path of Exile 2. Literally just saying abilities are incredible or insane, without actually knowing what they do is so hilarious to me. You know what that is? That is verbal clickbait. That's what that is. Verbal, vocalized clickbait, saying something is insane or incredible and using gaming buzzwords like that to catch people's attention learn to recognize it, keep those brains ridged. Don't let that crap smooth you out. Seriously, I hope that people are capable of listening to what's actually being said. You know, if the person you're watching is using a bunch of big adjectives, but without getting into any detail, talking about the numbers or showing any examples, you might raise an eyebrow. Anyways, maybe I'm tunnel visioning this one ability and this one oversight a little too much, but hey, let me know if you found an actual use for Herald of Ash, or if I'm flat wrong about this. I don't think I am. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.